Okay, so our new Kingston drive, second Kingston drive, has arrived to put inside this machine. It already has two SSDs in it. It has a 128 gig SSD and then a matching Kingston 240 gig SSD. We'll need to fit a second Kingston 240 gig for TrueNAS. This will be the 128 gig will be the TrueNAS OS drive, and then we're going to mirror the 240 gig Kingston drives. We'll probably need to find a place to put these. I'll probably just put the A data right in here up against the cage or the side panel. There's a little bit of room there for that. And I don't think it's going to affect the temperature very much. So let's flip this over. Let's get this one out of here. We'll get our can just use our biggest one here. Okay, so we can see here we have an A data and a matching Kingston. So I will remove this A data from this bay and we'll move that one to the front. And we will attach our Kingston. These drives were pretty cheap on Amazon. Got them on sale for about $40 Canadian, which is not too bad. Okay, put these screws back down, and I think we're just going to attach the A data drive, probably with some double-sided tape. As there's no other mounting space for it in this case that I know of. But there's plenty of ventilation. This thing's going to be running pretty low. It's not going to be doing anything crazy. It's just going to be doing some pretty simple file sharing for a very small business. Okay, so that drive is replaced. Let's take a look if there's anywhere in here that we can put the OS disk. So as far as mounting, it's not going to fit vertically anywhere. It's just slightly wider than the actual case is. It's about as wide as it's going to get, so it still sticks out a little bit. So we'll have to, I think we're going to mount it just actually right here. We will put this double-sided tape just like that on the inside here. It shouldn't interfere with any fans. It's got a whole grill, so they'll still get plenty of airflow, and the fan won't be really impeded much, and I think that will do just fine. So let me go get that stuff. I need a SATA cable and a SATA power cable. to mount this in there. So I think I found a different solution. What we can do is actually these mesh holes will line up quite well with the disc screw holes, and we can mount it on this side with a couple of hard drive screws. So I think we'll do that. I've got my little bag of screw hardware for some discs. We'll get that mounted on the inside there, and we'll connect it up. And we're just going to use a spare old SATA cable. So let's find a couple screws here. So I think we just have some small black ones. Hopefully they will fit through these holes. Might need to screw them through. Yeah, we'll need to persuade them. Just a little bit to go in there, which is fine. So I think I will mount it as far up into this corner as I can get it, which is going to be right about there. So we will pick this one. We'll see if we can win the fight against this cage. Persuade that hole to become slightly larger. It is getting there. Maybe we'll use a better screw that's got a little more enlarging power. And we'll come from the back. Is it working? I don't know. I think we got it. There we go. Okay, so that's one. 4 more to go. Okay, let's see if the second screw will catch. There we go. Caught. I think actually 2 screws should be just dandy. Kind of thread this one a little bit, work it in there. The other one is already worked and threaded. Got a couple threads in the disc. I'll move down to this one. Get a couple threads in here, and we'll tighten them down. And that should be way better than double-sided tape. On there, super nice and solid. Excellent. Now that that's taken care of, we will need to find SATA power in this machine. I think there's an extra one buried in this bundle here. There is a Molex power. Right here. Let's see if I can get this guy out. Okay. That is a very, very short Molex connector. Let me see if I can see what I can see. There's another SATA power, because I think the only other SATA power went through to the other side, to the other two drives. So we might have to use an adapter if there are no other SATA connectors. And it looks like that is what it is. So I'll have to find a Molex to SATA adapter and plug that into this one. So let me grab that. Okay, we've got our Molex to SATA power adapter sitting in our spare parts bin. And so we'll plug that in there, and we'll try and tuck that back in to where it was for the most part. Get back in there. Okay, perfect. That'll keep that nice and tight. And then we can use this end to plug in the drive. We have our extra long SATA cable. We will plug that in right down here in one of the 4 SATA connectors. This is quite the compact case, so persuasion is what is required. And the extra long cable helps with taking the side panel off if we need. I wonder, that one's going to be the same. Okay. So that leaves us lots of room for taking the side panel off. Works out nicely. And we will stuff this back in. This side's going to need a little bit of moving in. There we go. And that'll do it. It's not stuff enough if the case panel is not coming off on its own. There's still room. So sorry about that, battery died. We'll need to get that charged up. Okay, so we are on there. Make sure these are not more battery issues. Okay, so that's together. We'll get the last pair of screws in. And we will boot this back into TrueNAS. I believe I have the stand for it. That's this guy here. Kind of just mounts onto the bottom. Like so. Kind of sits up like that. Get a little airflow under the bottom, so it leaves a little bit of a gap for these vents here. We'll use that. We'll boot up into TrueNAS and add that next drive. Thanks for watching.